Okay, good day and welcome to the Linters tutorial. Welcome to Microverse Linters tutorial for html-css. This is how it works. If you want to install any Microverse linters, they have a documentation where you go to their GitHub page. Then you see we have HTML, CSS, HTML, CSS, that's JavaScript, React Redux, Ruby on Rails, Ruby, and what have you. Each of the documentations is for specific aspects of the curriculum, different aspects of the curriculum. If you want to go to just HTML, CSS, you click here. This contains only HTML and CSS aspects of it. Yeah, this is for only HTML and CSS. If you have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in your code, this is the particular linters you're supposed to use. It's almost the same thing for HTML, CSS. It's just that it has this ESLint addition because of the JavaScript file or folder files you would have. But for just the HTML, CSS, there is no ESLint because the ESLint is for JavaScript. So I'm going to combine the two in this tutorial. I'll start with the HTML, CSS. Then after that, I would add the JavaScript aspect of it. Okay, thank you. So that being said, I'll go back to my VS Code. I want to create this. I just initialized this, so let me do that locally here. I just initialize the repo. So I will give it a commit. Let me do git add. Sorry, not there. Git add. Git status. Yeah, it's in the staging area. Git commit dash which message should I give? I can say initialized project, Okay, that being done, since this is my first, there are various ways to do this. You can do it the way you normally do it, doesn't matter. Okay, that's fine. That has been added. So I want to check out the development. That's how to check out the development. So in the development, let me just add a readme so that we will just have something to commit. readme.md rather. Branch. Okay. Git status. I don't need this, but I'm just doing it. Git add. git add. No, you have to commit before you again commit. No. Git add dot git status. Yeah, it's in green now, so it has added. Then git commit dash m, and say checked out to development branch. And then I do git push. So I will have to set it up. Okay, git checkout again dash b. Let me call this the future branch where I want to develop my features on. So if I don't want, I can still add something here, and feature branch git add again, git commit dash git push. Okay, that's it. So we are on the feature branch, so we would go back and look at the tutorial again, HTML-CSS tutorial for how to configure the Microverse linters. Okay, they say in the first commit of your feature branch, create this GitHub folder, then you create another subfolder inside the GitHub folder called workflow. So this is simply it. You click on either readme, index HTML, or what have you. Then since it's a folder I want to create, this one is for a file. I click on this new folder, then I create .github. I click outside. Yeah, so I can now create a subfolder by still clicking on it and writing workflows. Remember, the workflow has an S. Some students and some people omit that S and they have errors on their linters. So that being said, if you go back to it, the subfolder now has a file called linters.yml. Linters.yml. I'll go back and click, and I'll type the name linters.yml. That's cool. We're almost there. Back to where we are. I'll click on this to open it in another tab. What's that? No, I don't know. Okay, the page has loaded. So you see it's a very long file, so there are a couple of errors that can happen here. Some students try copying this way, and even right from the beginning they omit the name. That's on line 1. You can see the name was not copied completely, so you're going to have errors. Some people copy completely from the beginning, but when they reach here they stop. They don't copy to the end. They feel that's the end. You see, it's a long file. You can copy twice, or if you have a way to copy all through to this point, that's fine. Just make sure you copy everything. So you see, it's tricky copying a long file like this. So I would advise, if you want to copy such long files, you click on the raw link. So this has opened the whole content of that file in the web browser. So what you do, Control A, Control C, as simple as that. You've copied everything from the beginning to the end. Then I paste it. As simple as that. I've copied and pasted the whole content of that file, linters.yml or YAML file here. So I'm done with that. The next step I can go to now is for the html-css. Do not make any changes. Do not make any changes on the prison. Okay, so maybe let's try and create a pull request so that we'll be seeing how the files would be displaying. Since we've added the Microverse linters, how Microverse wants us to be configuring and coding the patterns they want to enforce in their students. So back to GitHub. Since I've pushed, I'll refresh. There are 3 branches here. Okay, let me still refresh. Okay, so that's fine. Feature development, let me see. Feature, I'm not going to the main, I'm going to the development. I want to compare the 2 branches. So I should have set my development as the default branch, but that's fine. Let me give a comment here. Testing Microverse linters. Okay, just a short message. Let me create. Okay, there was no conflict anyway, but unfortunately I did not push git status. So git add git commit -m. Okay, I've pushed, so let's see. Okay, that's fine. Waiting for the checks. It's kind of a bit slow. Anyway, while we are waiting for the checks, I think we can be doing something else. Let me refresh and see if that will make it faster. Okay, that's fine. It's still installing, so while it's installing, we can be doing something else. Okay, I'm through with the linters.yml file. I can close that. That's fine. So the next step, set up your linters in your local environment, is to, what do? We'll run the npm init-y. Yeah, I can copy it here without highlighting. So I go back to my terminal and paste this command to create a package.json. Is it here? Cool. So after that, I think the command is true by now. Okay, all the check passed. That's fine. So when we create that, we run this command. While the command is running, we'll create, let me open it in another folder. I say folder, another tab. So this is opening the hint rc. So you can do it this way. You can copy this and go to your root directory, click on any of them, and then click on the file. You paste it. If it has a space, some people copy it with the space, it gives you the error. Else you can close the space, and that's fine. Back to this hint rc, you can copy it directly here if you want. If you are used to the raw way of doing things, you can click on this. But I will advise you, if you are used to the raw way of doing things, you can always delete this whenever it throws an error, this comment. So Control A, Control C, back to this part of it. What's this? I've pasted it. Okay, that's fine. The comment didn't throw an error, so let me just still commit. I think I need to do a git ignore so that I don't push the node modus to yeah. To avoid that, create a .git ignore file and add node modus to it. So I don't want to push this node modus to my GitHub page. It's large and I don't want it. It occupies unnecessary space. So .git ignore, that's fine. Then I can paste this there. git ignore file, git push, okay, that's fine. The hint RC has gone, so I can run this command to check for any hints in errors if you have it. I think there should be no errors. Yeah, it ticked finish and everything passed. The green tick there showing everything is okay. So the next step would be to install the styling for our styles. Okay, so you copy that and you run the command. While that command is running, let us create this file in the background while the command is running. This file is also going in our root directory. Okay, that's fine. So that's been said, I would open the file again, the link in another tab. So I can use the raw folder. I'm used to the raw means of copying, mode of copying rather. Okay, that's fine. See, it throws an error because of this comment here. You delete it. That's what I was telling you. So that being said, let me push this. Add the styling file. Okay, that's fine. So let's run the command. After adding that file, I don't think we'll have an error. We're through with this. We can close that. This is, you copy this and you run it. If you have styling issues, it should display. Okay, there are no styling issues. So we can go to our style.css and see if we could create some. Yeah, so that maybe we could fix it. Let me increase the indentation. Yeah, I've saved it. So let me run this command again. I think it should show some errors now. Yeah, you see there's two styling errors. So whenever you have such errors, you can try to fix it directly with the space dash fix flag, the same command that produced the error. If I run it, you can see, if you observe the screen, it has been rearranged to the normal indentation and all the spaces have been cleared. So if I run the previous command and use my back arrow on the key, you see it will not display any error again. Let me clear the terminal so that you can see that very well. You can see there are no errors, so that's fine. This is for CSS alone. What I've just HTML CSS, that's the installation for HTML CSS, and that's where it ends. Except you're talking about you need to modify for your SAS file as and the rest. So that's where you need to work on this. If you're using normal HTML CSS, that's where you would stop. So going back to if you're working on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, let me show you something. If you're working with the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, for JavaScript you need to install the ESLint. So if I copy this and install it, install, while it's installing, let's create this file ESLint rc.json. Okay, so let me open this. Okay, let me just copy the file directly without using the raw, to show you that you can still copy this way, but be careful to copy everything. That's all. Pasting it. Okay, that's fine. Git add. Okay, before I commit, let me check if we still have the green ticks. Let me refresh this. Okay, it's still passing. That's fine. So coming back here, git add git commit dash m. Okay, hopefully we should have an error. Hopefully we should have an error because we don't have a JavaScript file. Okay, while that is running, we can come here rather, and run this command locally. So we would see the error there as well. Okay, you see there's a warning. Oh, something went wrong. ESLint, no files matching pattern were found. So what you simply need to do in this case to avoid that is to add an index.js file. That's if you have if for JavaScript configuration you must have in JavaScript files. So once you have a JavaScript file and you run it, there will be no warning. Everything will be okay. That's fine. So let's check if the warning is showing. Okay, it's still running. Let me refresh. Let's see. All passed. Did I push it or I didn't push after installing? Okay, let me delete this JavaScript file and push. Okay. Okay, I pushed it, so that's fine. It's a minor warning, so it didn't show up there. That's fine, but you always need to, if you are working on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you need to have a JavaScript file. So let me just put that index.js, and let me just write a function, or even though it doesn't do anything, testing. So maybe let me use small t. X is equal to 5 or 6. So can always call testing. And it returns 6. That's fine. So let me do a wrong indentation and let's see how for the styling for ESLint. Okay, it fixed it. Okay, let's see. Let me run this and see. True, an error. X is never reassigned. What have you? Okay, let's return X. That will clear that error. So there are some minor fixes, but beyond that, let me remove this. X was never reassigned. There are major fixes that you need to do yourself, and there are minor fixes that you can always do. So since we're having this error, I'll run npx yes lint. Do I need to remove these dots? I think let me dash fix and see. Okay, space dash fix. Let me see. Okay, you see, I ran it with the dots and with the dash fix flag. It was able to correct the other minor errors, but the one major problem that X needs to be reassigned, it can't be done. So I'll have to go there and manually fix it myself. I have to return X, and that will solve the whole problem. If I run the same issue now, yeah, it didn't throw any error. It shows that everything is okay, so that's fine. So I would still want it to fill up there so that we can fix it. So let me add space, which shouldn't be. Let me push to GitHub. Okay, I think definitely we should have a filling test or so in when it finally uploads. Yeah, let's wait for it and see. While that is working, we can go behind and correct it. You run this with dash fix to fix the fixable ones, the auto fix. It has reduced the spaces and the punctuation and what have you. So that's fine. Most of the errors are gone. So what do I do? Let me do it again. So you clear this without the dash fix flag to see the number of errors that we'll have. We had 3 problems. That's fine. Let me clear the terminal, then run the dash fix command. So it has reduced 2 of the problems. We're having 1. So let me clear the terminal again. So I have to return this. It's my program, so I should be able to return the X. I should tell the program what to do. So if I actually run this now, there'll be no error. Everything is fixed. That's fine. So this must have been true. Let me see. There's something not adding up. It's supposed to throw an error. Are we on the development? Let's check the future branch. Okay.
One more time. First it was fragrance, then it turned to fire. A shout. This is
Okay, you can see I discovered the error. That's why it's very, very important to be careful which linters you're using per which project. You see, we moved on from the HTML, CSS linters to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Where was that? Let me just do this. Linters. No. Let me go to this file. You see, I used this to configure it initially. So when I moved to HTML, CSS, and JS, I should have updated the linters.yml file to contain this file. All I needed to do was to edit this, copy this file rather, and update it. That was all I needed to do. And update it here. Just paste the new file. That was what I did. That was all. So if you do that, you can see that it's failing now because there are 5 checks instead of 4. So if I go now and correct those errors, you see, if we run this, if I run this, it will throw the errors, 6 errors. So we can go to the index.js file and correct those errors. What happened? We can just say return. We didn't return the 2x plus c. When we return that, and okay, let me not return first. Let's run this command --fix space --fix to fix the spacing error. You see, there are now 2 errors that we didn't assign, so those ones we need to resolve it manually. So return x plus c, and once I run it now, remove this, delete that over there, everything will be okay. There'll be no error. Clear. Run, and that's it. We've been able to install linters. So be careful with the linters you're using and on what kind of projects, and make sure to update the files as you move on. That's it. That's how to install linters. Thank you.